comedy film legend. Some see a self-important
Wait, hold on. Is my angles good? My camera good? Okay, we good.
Nepo baby who takes himself too seriously. Others see a toxic man-child who weaponizes therapy speak to control his girlfriend. And if they aren't talking about any of those things, they are hyper-focused on his weight loss and weight gain, gawking at him like some sort of zoo animal. Over the years, Jonah has attempted in weight gain, gawking
Jonah Hill pulls down his wetsuit in Malibu to show off his bare chest filled with several large tattoos after losing 40 pounds.
At him like some sort of zoo animal. Over the years, Jonah has attempted to respond to all of the hatred towards him, but every time he does, things only get worse. Critics and fans never seem to be satisfied, making it seem like he just can't do anything right.
I came up like, you know, in goofy comedies and this kind of like curly-haired, overweight.
I missed those movies, by the way. Like, disregard the whole video. Fucking missed those comedy movies, man. The world was in a good place with them bitches. Besides the 07 or 08 market crash or whatever the fuck, financial crisis.
A kid, and everyone had their own opinion on what I should be, how they could speak to me, how they could treat me.
Jonah Hill went from a complete nobody to securing roles in countless early 2000s comedy bangers. The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Grandma's Boy, Click, Accepted, Knocked Up, Evan Almighty. In 2 short years, he became a reliable secondary or tertiary character that would give audiences funny moments.
Ask me about my winner!
However, it's unsurprising that Jonah got so many opportunities early on, considering he fits the standard definition of a Hollywood Nepo baby. Jonah's father, Richard Feldstein, is an extremely successful Hollywood business manager who manages the business and financial affairs of high net worth and
opinion on Nepo baby though. They say life is unfair, right? It's a nice thought. His dad isn't like at the status he was. It's not his fault his dad was able to help him get positions and roles like that. It's not his fault he was a Neville baby. So the fuck what?
high income clients. Richard's
not like, but like real shit though. Come on, bro. Because if it was any one of us in that fucking position or predicament, niggas would be like, well, it's not my fault, bro. Blah blah blah. No, hey, nigga, I'm using all of my like advantages. Because everybody got different advantages of life. Everybody. And some are blessed. Use them. They're there for a reason.
started as an accountant for various Hollywood acts and notably served as the accountant for the iconic rock band Guns N' Roses. Jonah's mother, Sharon Feldstein, is a costume and fashion designer in Hollywood. Her first big job was working as an assistant to Mr. Daniels, who was the executive producer, on the set of the popular 70s and 80s show Taxi, and from there worked on various popular 80s and 90s TV productions. Jonah grew up in Hollywood, and with his parents' connections, he had too big of an advantage to fail. Then again, he proved to the world that his parents weren't the only reason he would be successful after his hilarious performance in the smash hit Superbad. Superbad was written by Seth Rogen and his childhood best friend Evan Goldberg to loosely resemble their real experiences as teenagers. Teenage Seth would be played by Jonah Hill, making it his first leading role on a major Hollywood set. Jonah knew this was his biggest opportunity to date, so he wanted to make sure everything went perfect. He did not hold back from letting everyone know that he did not want Christopher Mintz-Plasse to get the role of Fogel, aka McLovin. Immediately after Chris's audition, Jonah Hill was like, not that guy. In the film, Seth and Fogel have animosity towards each other, which was also the case behind the scenes. Seth Rogen said Jonah effing hated him. He was all over Jonah's lines, completely disrespectful of the process, probably due to a lack of experience. Then Jonah said, Chris just immediately shut me down, so combative. I was really annoyed because this guy wouldn't let me say anything.
Jonah Hill hated me so much after my audition. I walked out. I get it. I was 17. I was not a professional actor. I kind of went in. I was in high school, and we're playing high school kids. So, like, Jonah's roasting me. And you remember being in high school. You were just...
That's the best time. Bro, I feel like it's the best time to play a high school kid. When you're a young-ass nigga, when you're 17 years old. Right?
Like, yeah, it's my buddy roasting me. It's not gonna bother me. I'm gonna roast him back, and that's what I did in the audition. And I left the room. I was like, oh my god, Seth signed my script. Nothing's gonna happen. Oh my god. And Jonah's like, that guy. Till like Judd Apatow.
Bro, my lips dry as shit. Am I streaming, bro?
Yeah.
couch streaming. Here, let's put me to the side. Ooh, let's put me to the side. Respect.
Tao and Greg Mottola and Seth Rogen. He's like, that guy, don't cast that guy. And they all said, we gotta cast that guy.
After Jonah told director Judd Apatow not to hire Chris, he said, "That's exactly why we're hiring him. It couldn't be more perfect. The fact that it bothers you is exactly what we want." And their intuition was right. Jonah despising Chris only helped the hilarious dynamic between their characters on screen.
Didn't you say something to me?
I wasn't with you when you parked.
Yeah, but dude, you saw from afar that I was parking there. You should have said something.
I didn't think we were gonna be that long, man. You're so stupid.
Since McLovin became nothing short of a cultural icon after the movie's release, Jonah's contempt for him makes him seem like a jealous co-star in hindsight. Despite having far less screen time than Jonah, McLovin stole the spotlight. Maybe Jonah knew Chris was great and tried to prevent his casting to make
him
reacted
to one of his videos before. Patrick CC
himself look better. Or maybe he was just young, working on a life-changing project, and his stress was through the roof. But you'll notice Jonah's petty behavior would grow to become more of a pattern as the years went on. Jonah's role as Seth is considered by many to be the best work of his entire career. He delivered countless hilarious moments that remain quotable 20 years later.
Hey Greg, why don't you go piss your pants again?
That was like 8 years ago.
People don't forget.
Superbad became one of the most successful, and my personal favorite, early 2000s comedy films, securing $300 million when including revenue from DVD sales. Unfortunately, it also cemented Jonah Hill as the funny fat guy of Hollywood.
Jonah, do you think it's important to be unattractive to be funny? Can skinny people be funny?
I don't think it has to do with like anything
Bro,
besides
who asked this retarded ass question?
Fat guy of Hollywood.
Jonah, do you think it's important to be unattractive to be funny? Can skinny people be...
Nah, somebody had to have hated this nigga to like those the questions you gonna answer, my nigga. Do you have to be fat to be funny? I'm a former fat nigga. I still am kind of chubby, bro. I got tits, my nigga. Like, that shit fucked up, bro. Like, real shit, bro. That shit not cool, bro. Like, skinny or not, bro, that shit fried. You gotta be fat to be funny. Fuck.
I don't think it has to do with like anything besides just being funny and like
funny, nigga.
Have heavy
real shit.
And Evan Almighty.
I just don't think it's like I don't think it has anything to do with like what.
Even though that interview clip was a comedic sketch, it does accurately reflect the way reporters and the general public treated Jonah.
Oh, that was
Hollywood
a sketch.
determined that his weight was a defining trait that made him valuable. He often got cast as the overweight, awkward guy who constantly was the butt of the joke. It even defined his iconic role in Superbad. But unfortunately for Jonah, his on-screen image also defined his real life too. You see, comedies have a way of blurring the line between the character and the real-life actor. Comedy films often look like normal people hanging out and saying funny things, and because of that, audiences often assume what they're seeing is just an exact.
Yeah, but I don't. But that still doesn't like mean okay. Like, I don't know. I just think that's a dumbass thing. Like, okay, yes, like comedy films do like often resemble people shooting the shit, saying regular funny shit, completely being a joke, blah blah blah. But it's like at the same time, it's like you still watching the movie, and this nigga still playing a role. You get what I'm saying? He's still playing a fucking role. Like, I don't ever look at a role and then look at a nigga IRL and just be like, because of a role. You know what I'm saying?
Exaggerated version of the actor's real personality. And for Jonah,
it depends on the type of role. It depends on the type of role. I ain't gonna lie. Like, cause like sometimes I know an actor do gotta make their money, or actress, like just actors in general. But I do look at niggas crazy if they accept or perform a certain type of thing in a certain type of film. Cause some shit you would think a nigga moral standards and how you feeling like, okay, he wanna take that role, but then they do. Now the boys, that's different. I don't want nobody saying that. Is it different? No.
That meant a lot of people didn't see him as someone playing a role. They saw him as the funny fat guy. And nobody knew it yet, but Jonah despised this. And he knew if he kept accepting the role as the funny fat guy, then he would never be able to escape this caricature of himself. From there, he did take on secondary roles in films like Strange Wilderness, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and Funny People, but none matched the success of Superbad. And while voice acting roles in How to Train Your Dragon and Megamind kept him paid, in 2011 he made efforts to establish himself as a legitimate actor after he landed a major role in the sports drama Moneyball alongside well-respected actors like Brad Pitt and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Moneyball was one of those rare films that was loved by both critics and fans. Jonah's performance was so great, it earned him his first Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, which you could tell he felt was a major highlight of his career.
I hope it never sinks in a real way, because it's just so exciting, and you know, for my family. And when you say you want to become an actor, it just, you know, you should.
I want to be an actor.
Shouldn't ever do things for awards or.
But damn, never mind.
Or things like that. You should do them because you love them. But something like this just says, hey, you're maybe supposed to be doing the profession you're doing.
But Jonah still had a lot to prove, even to his co-star Brad Pitt. In a promotional interview for Moneyball, Brad heavily implied that Jonah was...
I think this guy's a top 5 actor. Well, I watched a few of his movies, and then I seen like Welcome to Babylon or Babylon or something, and when he had to act out acting, but also being drunk, it's hard to explain. Like, basically, he had to, as an actor, you're acting, right? It's your job. He's acting. He's acting like he's a drunken actor. And right before, in the movie, because in the movie they're filming something, because it's about his character, who's also an actor. He's a drunk. But once the director says action, he just locks the fuck in. I think it was some of the greatest actor ever. I don't think a lot of niggas can do acting like that.
Not a serious actor.
Spring, the unofficial New Year people.
I'm sorry, am I a bitch boy for not having premium? Not really. Who the fuck about to buy premium? Come on, that shit. Ooh, do that look good? I want some deep fried Oreos.
It's just a bite away.
If you could adopt a personality trait or mannerism from one of your Moneyball co-stars, what would it be?
What would it be? A personality
Any
trait?
one of them. If they're sitting right here, that could be one of them. If it's Phil Hoffman, whatever.
No, I got to go with a serious actor.
Okay.
As if his co-star calling him unserious wasn't bad enough, Jonah's worst nightmare started coming true. Instead of his performance being the main topic of conversation, his physical appearance was becoming central to his identity. After Moneyball, he started trying to slim down a bit, and tabloids about Jonah frequently made comments about his weight, writing things like, "Jonah Hill looks like he's regained all the weight he lost a while back, and his fans couldn't be happier? Hey, they're just thinking about his career," implying that he can't be considered.
But I don't get it though. Out of all these movies I watched, are they just laughing at him because he's partially fat? Is that what makes it funnier? Like, do a nigga being ridiculously out of shape and just ridiculous looking make the joke or whatever's going on in the scene more hilarious? Probably. But I've seen some, like, I don't get it. I don't know. I never looked at that shit. And, like, I never looked at something like that and laughed because the nigga was fatter. And I make fat jokes to my friends some of my friends all the time. You know what I'm saying? Mostly one of them, because, like, everybody ain't really, like, big. But, you know, still, it's whatever. Like think of John Cena in that one movie with Zac Efron or something. When he was, like, when he was in recovery from drugs and he had the shakes and shit. Fucking hilarious. Regardless of what the fuck John Cena looks like.
Considered funny if he loses weight. You could tell that Jonah tried to downplay his weight loss, as he definitely did not want all of his interviews to devolve into just talking about his body.
All my friends were in college, so I was living like a frat guy. Like, everyone was just drinking beer and eating pizza with all my friends. And you know, as I mature, you know, even with this movie, I'm maturing as an actor and growing up and in front of everybody's eyes. It's like you just a certain time where you go, all right, it's time to be a responsible adult. You've got to be stop being a kid at some point.
Was there build up to it, or was it just like one day? And
no, it was one day. I made a. I was
Wow.
like looked up a nutritionist and called him up and went and.
Do you mind me asking how much weight you've lost? Or
I don't mind at all. I just don't know. I didn't know before or after, whatever.
Did you ever worry that people would perceive you differently? I talked to Seth about that when he lost a bunch of weight. You know?
No, it's so funny. I think people make such a big deal about that, but I think if anything, it's like you can do all kinds of parts now. You know, it's like when you're a big guy, you can't play a thin guy.
You're limited.
It's impossible unless you use that
But
like
they can
Captain
put some pads
America
on you.
digital stuff or whatever.
Hey, nah, for real. What's his name? Patrick Bateman? No, that can't be it. That might be it. Yeah, this guy. Wait, that's a fictional character. Who plays this guy? What's the guy's name that plays this guy? Christian Bale. Yes, the Batman. This American Psycho. Gore the God Butcher. Hey, Christian Bale method, bro. That's all I was about to say.
Are you getting hotter chick?
Oh man, no man, don't
Wait,
do old stuff or whatever.
Are you getting hotter chicks?
Oh man, no man, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
You said, are you getting hotter chicks?
You know, have a lady, that's great.
But eventually,
Okay,
he would shut down interviewers bringing up the subject completely.
But are you still considered the fat guy when you go to a party or anything?
Bro, what questions are these, bro? Like, somebody has to hate this dude to like they just asked the interviewer to ask these questions. I don't get it. It can't be that crazy. Is there another fat actor who like did roles like Jonah Hill has done, but they didn't like get put in the same fucked up category as Jonah Hill? I don't know what's going on. This is crazy to me.
Because I run into that a whole lot. I'm the fat one. So are you the fat guy in Hollywood still, or does everybody like look at you and they're like, oh wow, this is great, now you're healthy?
Do you have any other questions that are smart?
For a while, Jonah handled these types of comments like a pro, laughing it off or just avoid engaging with it at all. Because when you're a celebrity of his scale, there's a pressure to stay composed. Don't overreact or give anyone a moment they can turn into a headline. Because if they crash out, then that becomes the story. Jonah eventually started giving critics a piece of his mind, which did not fix anything. It actually made his life much worse. After meeting Jonah in person back in 2012, CNN anchor Don Lemon tweeted, "Said hi to Jonah Hill in a hotel. Think he thought I was a bellman. I didn't know his name till the bellman told me. A lesson to always be kind." And before we
tired of sifting through.
Jesus, I'm gonna have to get YouTube Premium. That's a bad look. Do Joe Bartolozzi still get ads, or do he got Premium? Another ad. Well, I get it, man. You got a 30-minute classic here. I get
is a perfect example of how Jonah Hill simply could not do anything right to satisfy the media. In the same breath, Don downplays Jonah Hill by saying he didn't even know who he was, essentially implying that he's not that important, but still expects Jonah.
I just want to make sure it's not like overly like low, because if this shit overly low when I look back on the stream and it's just fried rice, I'm gonna cry.
To respond to him with a certain level of warmth and respect. It's this weird double standard where a celebrity can be reduced to just some guy but still expected to act like a celebrity. Unfortunately, Jonah's response only further painted him as emotionally insecure. "I said hi, what do you want me to do, move in with you? I was in a hurry, didn't realize you were a 12-year-old girl, peace." He continued, "I walked out of the restroom and found you waiting for me, shook hands, said hi, and was on my way. Sorry if you found that rude." Don replied, "Was waiting for luggage. Bellman and I laughed at how self-important you were. Just being honest."
Jesus Christ, bro. Maybe I can't be a celebrity. Well, obviously I can't. I mean, I think the celebrity life is a lot of propaganda, like spread for them, like in terms of being a celebrity. It has to be, because for one, it can't be that glorious. I mean, sure, this shit might feel like paradise at first, but after a while, this shit gotta be annoying. Everywhere you fucking go, it's either niggas is talking shit or they glazing. You know, like, yeah, fuck all that shit, bro. I'm straight, bro. I don't wanna just be, I got a lot of groceries to take in the house. I just left the supermarket, fucking 4 people just, yo, Aunt bro.
Nice. Stardom is fleeting, but Don couldn't be more wrong about his stardom because
it is your job. It is your job. Being a celebrity is part of the job. Yeah, it's like it's your job. So I guess, hey, bro.
Because Jonah was skyrocketing in success at the time, proving he was still a comedy powerhouse with the release of 21 Jump Street, which grossed over $200 million at the worldwide box office, and once again gave us hilarious moments that will be quoted for a lifetime.
We're not finger popping each other's assholes. What we're doing is getting
Done.
But as Jonah's star power increased, his inability to let things roll off his shoulders would get worse as time went on. In 2013, Jonah was interviewed by the Rolling Stone alongside Seth Rogen in anticipation of his upcoming film, This Is the End, which is a stoner comedy about a bunch of potheads facing the apocalypse. However, the interviewers seemed entirely unhappy with Jonah's responses. "Seth," we say, coming out of our reverie. "No, I'm Jonah," Hill says blankly. That's a great way to start. We blanch, sputter, cough, and try to explain ourselves, but Hill is apparently in no mood to cut anyone any slack, which may just be how he is. He is serious. He is. Which I'm not, and neither are Franco or Danny, Rogen had told us. By starting the interview off referring to him as Seth, Jonah is being reduced to the superbad character people refuse to let him outgrow. And the moment he pushes back, not even aggressively, just correcting it, now he's the problem, because to the interviewers, they were just joking. They try to break the ice and begin talking about exercising, to which Jonah replies, "My workout routine is of little relevance." For a while, they converse with Jonah, and it goes smoothly until they ask a question that pisses him off. Like when they asked, "What kind of a farter is he?" His eyes nearly jump out of their sockets. "I'm not answering that dumb question. I'm not that kind of person. Being in a funny movie doesn't make me have to answer dumb questions. It has nothing to do with who I am." Jonah continued, "I've done one of the biggest challenges you can do in Hollywood, which is transition from being a comedic actor to being a serious actor, and I'm really prideful of that. I could have made $1 billion doing every big comedy of the last 10 years and didn't, in order to form a whole other life for myself. Now I have fulfillment doing both." The authors of the article then wrote,
"I had to put some type of sedative in this weed to get me so sleepy."
That being the case though, you'd think he'd be able to relax a little bit, open up, take it easy. Once again, Jonah is in a situation where he cannot win. The interviewers expected him to act like the same goofy, raunchy character he played on screen because
that doesn't make sense. Maybe my skull too fucking thick, but it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. What do you mean? How do you expect a nigga to be the same role as a nigga that you seen in the movie? You don't expect Chris Evans to act like fucking Captain America. You don't expect Robert Downey Jr. to act like Iron Man. The fuck going on? Like, just because he's some fat ass like funny nigga in the movie don't mean he the same way IRL. Actors are so all majority of the time, them niggas always different from like the roles they play. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know, bro. I think niggas is just stupid.
Because that's what people associated him with. If he leaned into it, he'd just reinforce the exact stereotype he was trying to move away from. But the moment he tried to take himself seriously, he came across as uptight and rude. Then again, some people think Jonah's attitude comes across like he is doing this.
I get it. Okay, so like that CNN guy tweeting about, okay, just saw Jonah Hill at the hotel, wherever the fuck they was at. If the CNN guy saw anybody else, say he saw Chris Evans, say he saw Brad Pitt or Margot Robbie, whoever the fuck, and they acted the way Jonah Hill acted, he'll be like, okay, that's them, that's Brad Pitt, that's Chris Hemsworth, that's them. You feel me? But Jonah Hill, he's an actor too. He's done a lot of movies, and if he did do those serious roles that he so graciously stepped into, it's like he gets to act like that too, bro. Even though he did say he wasn't even trying to act like that. You feel me? He said he was just on his way. I hate that shit though, man. I hate that shit. Ooh, I hate niggas.
Day.
DJ, we're leaving.
I never liked media niggas though. I know that guy from on my block. I never liked media niggas though.
He did two. His attitude comes across like he is doing this Daniel Day-Lewis level method acting. He did 2 serious dramas at this point, and the rest were comedies. He still had a lot of work to do to prove his dynamic range as an actor. Jonah was so determined to be taken seriously that he took a minimum salary of just $60,000 to play as Donnie alongside Lee.
Wait. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Donnie was still like let's be fair, Donnie was still a goofy ass nigga. I'm sorry.
Leo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. Not only did he know the movie would be a hit and help him build a new reputation in Hollywood, but he wanted to work with one of the greatest directors of all time, Martin Scorsese.
As far as Jonah Hill is concerned, yeah, I met him in Mexico, and he basically said to me, I know people like this. I know what these people represent in the culture. I've met people like this, and there's nobody on earth that should play this character except for me. I'm the man for this job. And I said, no, I hear you. He's like, no, you don't understand. This is my favorite script I have ever read in my life, and I'm destined to play this. So I immediately called Marty. I said, there's an actor out there that, really feels like they're the person for the job. But I think Marty met him a week later, and I heard it was one of the best meetings he'd ever had with an actor, and hired him kind of on the spot. And in a lot of ways, Jonah Hill set the tone for this film, I think. He really is one of the most unbelievably talented improvisational actors I've ever gotten the opportunity to work with, and took scenes in directions that we never even thought possible.
Donnie is probably in contention with being Jonah's most memorable performance next to Superbad. Although Wolf of Wall Street is a comedy, Jonah approached the role with a level of commitment that went beyond just being the funny side character. He fully leaned into the world of the film, making you believe he truly was this desperate, greedy, power-hungry, twisted businessman who was constantly on hard drugs. But again, more fame meant more attention from the media, who wanted to push him to his limits. Except this time, he would have to make a formal apology for his actions. On May 30th, 2014, Jonah Hill was walking through the streets of Los Angeles as two paparazzi followed him, filming him.
I like the shorts though, bro. They are pretty sexy.
For the next minute or so, they followed behind him, not saying much, but filming and taking pictures. Typical annoying paparazzi. However, at the end of the interaction, Jonah called the cameraman the homophobic F-slur.
Have a good day.
Hey, man. Hey. It's a lot of words you could have said that weren't that. I ain't gonna lie. It's not the smartest thing to do, but he was pissed off. I get you could have called nigga anything. There's a lot of, and there's more devastating words to say too. You just had to say the one thing that could tarnish some shit.
Enjoy.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, we having to slip up like that.
Oh, a real bully.
At the time, many of Jonah's fans defended him, suggesting the paparazzi were annoying stalkers. But Jonah decided to use some time on his Jimmy Fallon appearance to apologize for using the word.
I didn't mean it in a homophobic way. I think that doesn't matter. How you mean things doesn't matter. Words have weight and meaning. And the word I chose was grotesque, and
what that mean?
No one deserves to say or hear words like that. I've been a supporter of the LGBTQ community my entire life, and I completely let the members of that community and everybody else down when I used a word like that this weekend.
Apology accepted. He seemed to be very genuine. That was very responsible and mature of him. Instead of discussing his upcoming film, 22 Jump Street, many mainstream programs were refocused onto his controversy. When speaking with Howard Stern, Hill said, "I think I'm pretty good at making movies, but I am not good at being a famous person." After 22 Jump Street grossed over $330 million at the worldwide box office, Jonah Hill had officially stamped his legacy as one of the best comedic actors of the early 2000s and 2010s. It seemed like everything he was cast in became an absolute smash hit, but he still had moments where he felt like he had to call out disrespect from the media. In a confrontation live on French television, the female co-host made frequent references to Jonah Hill getting sodomized in his movie This Is the End. As he received the translations through an earpiece, the host continued with another joke about a fantasy she had about Hill, saying, "We would meet up in a hotel room at night. We would chat, you'd make me laugh, then all of a sudden you'd bring your friends DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, and then you'd go away," implying that he was too unattractive for her to sleep with him. In response,
Jesus Christ, that's so fucked up.
Jonah said, "I'm glad I came on this show to get ridiculed by your local weather girl." It initially appeared that Jonah was simply laughing the joke off and sending friendly shots back, but his response was completely genuine, and after, he canceled all future media appearances he was scheduled for in France. The interviewer...
I mean, come on, bro, that's fucked up, though. That's fucked up. That's actually fucked up. I'm defending Jonah. That's some bullshit. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, that's just rude. I don't get it. What did he do? to like have niggas on his dick like that. That's insane.
Eventually apologized on camera with the statement, "Jonah, the problem is that for 10 years I have lived with you through your films. In fact, Jonah, I really had the impression that I knew you. So last Friday, I thought I was just messing around with a friend."
Bullshit. I don't get that. That's not an excuse. That nigga don't know you, bro. That nigga do not know you, bro. You can't say that shit. It don't make sense.
But the reality is that we are not friends. This once again reinforces the friendly, buddy-buddy image a comedic actor is expected to maintain in the eyes of the general public. Jonah is expected to be able to take a joke at his expense and shoot the shit with anyone who...
Yes, I do agree. You do gotta have tough skin. You have to. My skin depends on how I'm feeling at the moment. But honestly, you gotta have a tough skin. But you gotta acquire. I feel like you gotta get off to a really good start in terms of like what people know you for, in terms of what you say to niggas. Like how do I word this? You gotta get off to a good start when you're a celebrity, so people expect that you can say some shit back. You know, that you can talk shit just as much as niggas dish it out to you. You can dish it out. Like, you know, like, I just feel like, yeah, bro, like, if I was a celebrity and I went that route and niggas was speaking to me like that, yeah, I'm gonna have some shit back. And then I don't know, my fan base is gonna have to be the demographic that resonate or laugh with it or fuck with it. Cause it's like, there's no fucking way I'm about to just let this shit slide. The fuck?
Feels like calling him fat or ugly, but when he cracks back or tries to correct them...
It's a problem.
As a manufacturing CEO.
It's a problem when a nigga try to crack back or, like, correct them. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that, bro. Hell nah, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Fried rice, nigga. I'm about to talk a whole bunch of shit about you. You know what? Every interview and every appearance he do... Yeah, nah, appearance... Yeah, registered for that shit. But every appearance he do, bro... He should just observe. All the greats observe a nigga and instantly find out what to talk about in terms of like roasting a nigga, you know, 2015 shit. Like all that good shit.
First of all, you smell good, which is surprising.
Tries to correct them.
Like, come on, bro. Be for real, bro. I'm not did you really let Jimmy Fallon do that? But Jimmy Kimmel, should we let Jimmy Kimmel do that, bro?
He's the problem.
First of all, you smell good, which is surprising.
Why is that surprising?
I don't know. I just wouldn't think of a guy who would have a nice scent on. And
that's such a, like, I'm going to really work hard to not take that as a shot. You know what I mean? Like, because I think you would smell nice.
A 2016 article best describes the sort of limbo that Jonah was stuck in. Despite establishing himself as a legitimate actor worthy of Oscar recognition, he was not taken seriously in the eyes of the public. The hilarious sidekick roles make up a numerically small but neon bright portion of Hill's career, and no number of contrasting performances can seem to override the public impression of him as a man who might, at any moment, start humping the furniture. Unfortunately for Jonah, the public's perception of him would never change. His desire for approval as a serious actor, paired with his inability to manage the stress of stardom, led him to moving away from the silver screen and stepping behind the camera, focusing more on writing and directing. His first major film he directed in 2018 was called Mid-90s, which was an awesome debut. It is a coming-of-age film about youth skateboard culture in Los Angeles in the 90s. It wasn't a box office banger, but most definitely a classic that I and many other skate fans thoroughly enjoyed. He hadn't stepped away from acting entirely, but his new focus allowed him to fade from the public view while remaining a part of the creative process he fell in love with. His shift in career direction also marked a willingness to be more open about his insecurities and the difficulty he faced early in his career.
I became famous in my late teens and then spent most of my young adult life listening to people say that I was fat and unattractive, and it's only in the last 4 years writing and directing my movie Mid-90s that I've started to understand how much that hurt. I really believe everyone has a snapshot of themselves from a time when they were young that they're ashamed of. For me, it's that 14-year-old overweight and unattractive kid who felt ugly to the world and wanted so badly to be accepted by this community of skaters.
However, even as he stepped away from the big screen, his physical appearance remained a topic in the press. The late 2010s were plagued with articles discussing Jonah's weight, and it appeared that there was nothing he could do without it being brought up.
Nah, they did Kevy though. No, Oh, where this bond? They on dick heavy. That's crazy.
The best examples of this is the Daily Mail. It has been documented that Jonah had lost 40 pounds after he stopped drinking beer, a decision he made all the way back in 2016. The Daily Mail would consistently find ways to shoehorn this fact into any article they could, regardless of its relation. Jonah making a quick stop at the coffee shop, they wrote, he lost 40 pounds when he cut out beer in 2016. Surfing with some friends, they wrote, Jonah Hill pulls down his wetsuit in Malibu to show off his bare chest filled with several large tattoos after losing 40 pounds. And after years of this, Jonah responded to a 2021 Daily Mail article once again about his body while he was at the beach surfing. I don't think I ever took my shirt off in a pool until I was in my mid-30s, even in front of family and friends. Probably would have.
Nah, that's real. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Bro. I don't know. I don't know if I took my shirt off in front of, like, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know yet. I'm like 180 something pounds. But like, I might be overweight. I'm 5'8". Like max, I was 240 something. Mostly in my 230s, but still ain't take my shirt off.
Happened sooner if my
probably still would. You know what? I'm gonna dedicate time to work out. Even though I always say that.
Childhood insecurities weren't exacerbated by years of public mockery about my body by press and interviewers. So the idea that the media tries to play me by stalking me while surfing and printing photos like this and it can't faze me anymore is dope. As tragic as Jonah's history of ridicule was, it was nice to see that he had finally made peace with himself and his image. He continued to embrace this new image with a body positivity tattoo and became a cultural symbol for self-love. However, this was a double-edged sword. It wasn't just negative comments that bothered Jonah, but even positive comments about his appearance were deeply upsetting to him. I know you mean well, but I kindly ask you not to comment on my body, good or bad.
Nah, I get it, cause you know, niggas is always commenting on your body, good or bad. It can be about a whole bunch of other shit, but nah, it's about the flesh.
And I want to politely let you know it's not helpful and doesn't feel good. Much respect. It was only a matter of time before all of this would compound, and Jonah would announce a departure from the public eye to manage and deal with what he describes as a 20-year battle with severe anxiety attacks. It was clear that Jonah had become.
With Oreo frozen treats, real is just a bite away.
Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. What's this? Ooh, should I put y'all onto a good site to watch movies for free?
Become much more vulnerable in the latter half of his career. He had spent years being ridiculed for one of his deepest insecurities, but was now exposing his most sensitive struggles for the world to see with new confidence. This was thanks in large part to his commitment to therapy and relationship with his therapist, Dr. Phil Stutz. Jonah was so deeply impacted by this that he documented himself attending real therapy sessions in a documentary titled Stutz. The film seeks to normalize therapy and introduce those who may be skeptical of the process. Dr. Stutz discusses a concept he describes as tools, which are essentially coping mechanisms and mental habits you can utilize in moments of stress and discomfort. These tools are the backbone of the documentary's narrative, and Jonah emphasizes their importance in helping him manage the many stresses of his life. However, it would come to light that Jonah hadn't entirely used these tools for good, and he would be accused of weaponizing the lessons he learned in therapy to control and manipulate his ex-girlfriend. Jonah Hill made viral headlines in July of 2023 when his ex-girlfriend Sarah Brady exposed text messages he had sent to her 2 years earlier. Shortly after, he revealed that he and his current text
By the logic of the messages, devices women use to catch a man, flesh, flirtation, and frivolity are to be stopped. Once the man is snared.
Messages he had sent to her 2 years earlier. Shortly after, he revealed that he and his current
Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundary-less, inappropriate friendships with men, a model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post blank, what it asks, pictures, friendships,
girlfriend were having a child. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you are based based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Two things in particular stand out. Number one, Sarah is both a professional surfer and model, and Jonah specifically tries to restrict her ability to do those things to continue their relationship. It's also worth considering that Sarah had been doing both of these things prior to when the two started dating in 2021. Almost immediately into the relationship, Jonah began making subtle implications that he was uncomfortable with her lifestyle. He writes, "Oh, and modeling," which is
But you slid up on the model, nigga. You literally slid. How you gonna slide up on a model, want to date the model, and have a then it's a problem when you actually date a model. You not cool with her profession all of a sudden. Insecure, like low key insecure. Like word is about.
The last
like I'm not saying she's not a corn star, but that's the same thing. It's the same thing. You can't slide up on one and want to fuck with her, date her, blah blah blah, and get mad when she. What?
Profession I would be with as a partner. She replies, "Well, maybe you should have asked me more about what I do for work before you decided to date me then." Jonah replies, "Keep taking me for granted." He sarcastically continues, "Go model. It's a fulfilling life. You'll love it. Real depth and substance and sustainability for relationships." But actually, I'm done with this convo. Besides his seemingly insecure and petty attitude, much of the discussion was surrounding the usage of the word boundaries. Many felt as though Jonah was misusing the word entirely. On the surface, it sounds like he's being self-aware, like he's calmly communicating what he needs in a relationship and trying to avoid conflict. It frames him as someone who's being honest about difficult topics instead of lashing out or controlling someone out.
Still don't make sense, and it's still not good. I don't get it, cause it just don't. Shit don't work like that, bro. Like can I marry a model? I don't fucking know. I don't think so. Like I don't think I can. I could marry a model. Like, if it came down to it, if I fucked with her and who she is, yeah. But if I didn't, I wouldn't be with her. As simple as that. I don't get it.
Outright, and that's what caused many men online to rush to his defense.
Yeah, he's insecure.
Yeah.
But like, he's not saying like you can't be a human being. He's like, I wish you well. I just personally don't want you posting your ass on Instagram. I just personally don't want you going to...
I don't get it. I just don't get it. But it doesn't take away the fact that he knew what she was doing. He slid up on one of the pictures, nigga. Hard-eyed it. You said, I want to see you. That's no
dates with other men. I just personally don't want a partner that's going to do that. And if you need to do that, you go for it. I wish you the best. You got it. But I can't have that.
I think he did a pretty good job. My boundaries are this. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Isn't that what we wanted? People to express themselves? People to be able to just say what they want?
Yes, but it's still stupid. I'm not saying his boundaries are stupid. My nigga, you don't want a bitch that model? Go find a bitch that don't model. You don't want a bitch poking naked pictures, have naked pictures of herself with other niggas? Go find a woman that don't do that. It's that simple. And I don't get the whole. That just don't make sense, bro. Sorry, it fries me.
Keep that inside.
This the wrong. Never mind.
Words entirely the opposite way. Instead of setting boundaries on his own behavior, he's outlining restrictions on hers, what she can wear, who she can be around, and even the career she had.
Yeah, bro.
Before they met.
Okay, hot take. If you have to articulate and create and shape and carve out like shit like that, then y'all not meant to be. Like, it's just simple. Like, it's just so simple. Like, where did this fit come from? You know? Is she covered up like that? Because like, I don't get it. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
So while it's packaged
it's a bad look.
As vulnerability in communication, it can also be interpreted as him attempting to pressure her into changing her lifestyle to surrender to his expectations.
Gardner White is the absolute best place to...
No, that shit actually fried me. Like, I defend Jonah. I don't defend him on this, though. I defend him on all, like, the body shit. And I root for all the body positivity shit. But I don't defend him on this, though. That's some bullshit. if you gotta carve out all that bullshit, you gotta do all of this, do all of that, blah blah blah, and then maybe y'all can make it work. Then she's not the one. Y'all not for each other. It's that simple.
So shares
Okay,
text conversation shortly after an argument. She voices her frustration at the restraint she feels in the relationship, noting that she was constantly trying to avoid an uncomfortable situation or argument. She looks for reassurance from him, describing her insecurity that he's comfortable.
Okay, I want to read that shit. I'm sorry I said that. I had a couple beers and I'm just upset, feeling like we can't do our surf social things without an uncomfortable situation arising. That usually feels like my fault somehow. I feel you pull away, and then the feeling of being defective creeps in, and I think I'm not socially intelligent enough to meet your needs as a partner. And then I get frustrated and angry at myself and just want you to rip the Band-Aid off if I'm not good for you. That's manipulation, bro. Maybe it might be manipulation. I'm sorry. I feel like I ain't gonna lie, like as a manipulator, once you succeed at making somebody feel shitty for who they are because they're not meeting your standards, blah blah blah.
Situation or argument. She looks for reassurance from him, describing her insecurity that he would eventually leave her. However,
hey man, that makes me feel like you're testing me to see if you should keep me around or dump me because there's something wrong with me, like I'm a nerdy, dorky, unaware, naive idiot socially.
Jonah responded with hostility and passive aggressiveness. You're right. We can't do surf social things or develop trust until you.
I ain't gonna lie though, dude. People like Jonah Hill like this are hella manipulative. Come on, it's 2026, bro. Niggas found a way to like take that open honesty bullshit, Scouts honor shit, and just make it hella like they just make it their weapon. They weaponize it. They literally do, like he said in the video. They weaponize it, bro. And it's fucking crazy. Like it's insane.
You consider me and make decisions that give regard up to the plate. Straight step.
I hate manipulating ass. I hate this. Go for any person. I hate it. Oh well, my boundaries and what I think and my therapist and the way I feel and it's just, you know, honestly, like blah blah blah, and because you're doing this, I feel like fuck all that shit. Man, bro, because once you like that, in my opinion, you ain't good for nobody, bro. You ain't good for nobody once you like that. You fried, bro. Go sit that ass down in like in your own crib by yourself with a cat or something. Cause, come on, bro. I don't like them type of people. I don't like your type of. I'm not saying I don't like the type of people that be like. I don't like. Okay, let's get to. I don't like the type of people that like weaponize like that type of speech and that type of like. Whatever the fuck you even call that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If y'all can follow what I'm saying. I don't think I'm explaining it to the best of my ability, but, you know.
Up and cut. These people don't get your time or your kindness.
I don't like that shit. I just don't, it's disgusting.
The sacrifice constantly give Sarah an ultimatum. Delete these pictures, don't hang out with these people, or you don't respect me and I'll break up.
That doesn't make sense. You can't get a model who does these things, tell her to stop doing it because you want to. That doesn't make sense. You got to find a woman that's just not in that business. Or I guess you got to find a woman that wants you enough to where she'll stop doing that shit. But that's so unfair to her. Like, that's so unfair to her. I don't see why niggas is like, I don't get it, bro. I think that's hella insecure. I think it's hella lame. And I think it's stupid to weaponize it like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's bitch shit. Respectfully. Bitch shit as in bitch, not as in like woman shit. But bitch.
With you. He consistently brings up that Sarah does not respect him when it doesn't read like he has much respect for her either. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple. F that contest, F that place, and F not respecting me in every situation within surf culture, or you don't get it, and you don't get me. It's hurtful and unacceptable to me. All of this seriously begs the question why he would start dating someone who clearly doesn't live a lifestyle that conforms to his own.
Like, come on, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Why would he choose to date a bikini-wearing surfer with allegedly tons of toxic friends?
And then you gonna say you don't want that, but like, it don't make sense, nigga. It don't make sense. You could have cracked. You could have moved on. You don't add that up, bro.
Friends if they violated his boundaries. It came across to many that he was extremely insecure and trying to change a woman who he was likely not compatible with.
Insecure men love that whole, if you feel the need to do things like this for your validation. Yes, see that they weaponize that type of, that is just, I don't even know what to fucking call it. This isn't even just niggas. It's people in general. People that fit that niche, that category, that approach to whatever the fuck it is that they do are filthy and disgusting regarding that aspect of their lives and the way they handle things. I think it's repulsive. I think it's gross. I think it's nasty. 3 synonyms for you, my nigga. Real shit, bro. Don't ever say you ain't learned nothing from the videos, man.
With others that defend Jonah see this as nothing more than clear communication. He's being blunt and maybe a bit hostile, but he is angry and we all get angry. And others see his communication as calculated usage of therapy speak. Dude's a prime example of someone who learned just enough therapy speak to weaponize it against others. Geez, you don't have boundaries, you're just a controlling act. This was easily
Thank you.
Others.
Okay, yeah, niggas understand. Dude's a prime example of somebody who just learned just enough therapy speak to weaponize it against others. Now, I hate that shit. You just a controlling ass nigga. And anybody who's a control freak always have a deep rooted type of insecurity. Simple.
Geez, you don't have boundaries, you're just a controlling act. This was easily the biggest controversy of Jonah's career, with countless media.
You know, it's filthy and disgusting. This is a good video. Well, hold on. Clearly, I was about to end this video, but clearly this shit just got hella out of control at the end.
Outlets labeling his behavior as abusive. However, even those who were opposed to the way Jonah was speaking to his girlfriend were quick to say that this was not abuse. Insecure? Yes. Rude? Yes. Toxic? Potentially, but not abuse. This created a PR disaster for Jonah, but he chose to stay silent in regards to the situation. However, he did respond through his lawyers after...
Alexa Nicholas says Jonah Hill shoved his tongue down her throat against her will when she was 16. You automatically fried if that's true.
Zoe won.
Like, you should be fried.
One actress, Alexa Nicholas, accused Jonah Hill of shoving her against the door and kissing her without her consent when she was 16 years old and he was 24. His attorney, Marty
no, you fried. You fraud.
Responded, calling Alexa's accusations a complete fabrication, adding that it never happened, and that she was a serial accuser who has made assorted accusations against multiple men in the entertainment industry. Jonah has continued his separation from the spotlight and hasn't made any form of public appearance since the call-out. Still to this day, most of what you see from him is paparazzi capturing photos of him on the streets of Los Angeles, still commenting on his weight loss.
Hey man, after all this bullshit, he'll be alright. No, I'm still like, he'll be alright with this body image shit. I don't fuck with dumb allegations. Like, I don't think that's cool. I think disgusting. Look, I'm just a nigga that's viewing this shit. I don't know if that shit true. If it is, fuck him. I don't know, bro. It's just like, yeah, bro, that shit fried rice. But this is a really good video. I hope y'all appreciate this banger, man. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. I intend to be one of the greatest YouTubers that ever lived without doing this voice. I don't do that voice. I like the voice and I always appreciate the voice because I find it funny, but